Hi and welcome back. My name is Valentina. I am a mother of 4, soon to be 5 children. And in this video, we're gonna dissect to some degree whether or not you are ready to have children, whether or not you should, whether or not it's the right choice for you. First of all, this video is not aimed to shame anyone of the lifestyle they choose. I have a lot of friends who don't have children and who are living vicariously through my children, and there are not any less important for me or for the society. There are not any less of a person just because they decided not to have children or because they couldn't have children. So I remember myself when I was very young, and I always loved to be around children. I loved babysitting. We grew up in a family in the time when everyone was inclined to have children, and we always had little babies around, my cousins, and I always loved it. For me, it was like a game to some degree. So one of the first things, if you are a woman and you are on the verge and you don't know whether or not this is the right thing for you, try to analyze your childhood and see who you were as a child. Were you annoyed by children? Were you happy to babysit for your family, friends? Did you ever envision yourself being a mother? You know, like how we play with dolls and we envision ourselves being mothers. That should be a good view on whether or not you want to have children. That's definitely a good insight. If you are in your 20s or in your 30s, in your 40s, it doesn't matter. I had children in my 20s, in my 30s, and now I'm having one in my 40s. Obviously, everything changes. And when I had children in my 20s, I cannot say I was ready, but I was so excited and I really wanted to have children. It was never in my mind, I'm too young or I'm not ready or how am I going to do this? And my mind was like, oh my God, I'm going to have a baby. So your readiness, regardless of your age, if you have a supporting partner, it definitely makes the things much easier. Where are we going?
We're going to your mother's house for Easter, love.
Oh, Easter! I love
Easter!
Yay!
But even if you don't, decide your own readiness. And I always, and my mother was always telling me, when you have children, you have them for yourself, basically, at the beginning, at least when they're little. So you should not always think, oh, I'm gonna rely on this person, I'm gonna rely on that person. You have to make sure that you are ready. If you are ready, then everyone else around you is going to feel ready, because it all comes from within you, from your vibe, from your emotional maturity. How do you feel? Am I ready to be a mother? Is this going to be too much? Am I going to have enough help? Is my partner ready? So you need to assess the situation you are in, whether or not you're ready financial, which is another big thing, because it's so expensive to raise children nowadays. And I'm so disappointed that as people who bring future people into this world, we're not praised more and we're not supported and helped more by any country. Doesn't matter where you are. And that's what I mean when I say ready. You need to make sure that you are ready. Besides everything else, besides everyone else around you, you need to be ready to be a parent. Seek advice from your parents if you are in a good relationship, more or less, with your parents, or for friends who have children, people who can actually give you hands-on advice, people who can tell you exactly how it is without sugarcoating it. I can tell you from my experience, it is the best experience. It's amazing. Nothing compares to having children, and I don't see them for a day and like I'm starting to wonder, what did they eat? How did they go to sleep when my mother picks them up? But besides all that, there's a lot of things that come with being a parent. And as a parent, I can assure you that it's definitely one of the hardest jobs. Whoever says that, and I'm sure it was said and done 1,000 times, and they're right. Those people are right. Whoever is raising children, no matter the age, and I went through toddler, newborn, I have now 2 teenagers, I have a grown-up, my son is almost 19, and I still feel like he's my child, although he lives in Toronto for the time being and I live in Spain. So there's a certain degree of separation, which is a really good thing when it comes to teenagers, especially boys. But it's a lot of work. So don't just rely on your own research. Ask around. Understand the commitment that it takes. It's for life. The responsibility, the mental load, everything that comes with raising a child. This is for life and it's going to stay with you forever. You're not alone. Mommy needs to clean up the kitchen.
I'm alone.
You're not alone. Let's go. Start coloring like a big girl. Bravo. I was really, it blew my mind to find out just recently that all of the babies that we ever carried, if you are a woman, it stays in our brain. Their DNA, it stays for life with us. So a little particle of your child is always going to be with you. That's why mothers are so intuitive when their children are going through hard times. It's because we can feel them at genetic level, which is just crazy. So understand the commitment before you get into the idea of having children. You must understand that it's not like having a dog. It's not like going to university, in 5 years I'm done, they're going to grade 1. No, you are never done. You are never going to be done. And I don't mean to scare you away from having children. It's like raising a lifetime friend, someone who knows you inside out if you raise them properly. Angelina, it's so much fun coloring with you.
Oh yeah.
You have so much patience.
Oh yeah.
Look at you in your princess dress. Another major point is evaluate personal fulfillment. What do you think is going to bring you most happiness? And don't fall to the societal pressure, to your friends' pressure, to whoever's around you. Oh, you should have children. You're pushing 30. No. You should have children when you are ready. And if you are at a point in your life when you're trying to build a career, when you're trying to build a business, when you're trying to do something, and you feel like it's not the right time for you, never listen to anyone. You can always get some advice how it is to raise children. But when it comes to personal decision, don't listen to anyone. And I witnessed, unfortunately, a couple of people around me, a couple of my friends that were pressured into having children, and they are definitely not happy with that decision. And both are suffering, the parent and the child. So that readiness should really come from inside, and your fulfillment and where you are in your life definitely should come from a very, very settled point. Okay, I'm ready, I'm fulfilled, I can have children now. On a different note, you're never gonna be ready. You can do both. Obviously you can, and I did it for so many years, and you can have a business and you can get an education and you can do it both. The question is whether or not you are up for it, whether or not you feel like you can do it, whether or not you wanna combine the two. Maybe you're not that good at multitasking and you wanna finish your education and then have a child. It's all up to you. You need to know how much you can handle when it comes to having children, because it's a lot. Which brings me back to the same thing. Reflect on your motivation and values. Why do you want to have children? What brought you to that idea? Just because your partner wants children? Just because you're in a committed relationship? Just because your parents are pressuring you, or the society, or your friends, or this is what's expected of you? So your motives should be very clear to you, so you're not doing it for the wrong reasons, because this is the worst thing that can happen to you. As a parent, when you had a child for the wrong reasons, when you're trying to save a relationship and you're thinking a child is going to save it, it won't. When you bring a child into a broken relationship, you are raising a broken child, and you don't want to do that. That's why you have to really dig deep down and be absolutely sure that your motives are clear and that you are in the right place at the right time to have children. And you're with the right person, obviously. Consider lifestyle changes and sacrifices. There's going to be a lot of sacrifices that need to be made. And maybe if you're having children young and, my baby's excited about this video. Maybe if you're having children young and you still want to party, all of your friends party, you must understand that there's going to be sacrifices, because you can't always rely on a nanny. You cannot leave a newborn baby with someone else all the time, and you're gonna feel guilty. I can guarantee you that as a parent, as a mother. Like every time when I would go out and I would rely on a nanny, I felt guilty. I don't know, it's just my mentality. I felt like I should be home with the baby. But you need to understand the level of sacrifices. There's gonna be a lot of sacrifices and a lot of changes in your lifestyle. That's why to some degree it's good to have children young, because you don't necessarily have a lifestyle set up yet, as opposed to when you're 30, when you're 40, you have a certain routine, certain things that you're doing that go on about your day that it's gonna take a lot of adjustment and a lot of sacrifices when it comes to that. So again, you have to put everything down on a paper if you feel like this is what's gonna make it clearer for you. But you should understand that with everything else, with all the changes that comes with having a baby, lifestyle changes for you is one of the definitely major points. Your life is going to change drastically. Read and educate yourself as much as you can. Watch YouTube videos, but most importantly is read. When you are educating yourself, whoever is prepared, that person is that much more ready to whatever life brings their way. And no matter the situation, how you want to become a parent, whether it's adopting, whether it's having your own children, whether your partner comes with children, you really should educate yourself. And we live in an era where there's so much information online and so many books, and you have access to everything. So educate yourself. I do it on a regular basis. I always try to read some kind of books, listen something on Audible, listen to some kind of podcast. It's very much draining to educate yourself, but you will feel that you are that much more ready to whatever your decision will be. And then if you decide whether or not to have children, you're gonna have a good backup. I really read, I really educated myself. I know this is for me, or I know this is not for me. Don't feel guilty for whatever you decide to do. It really is a personal decision, and having children is a lot of work, and it takes a lot from you. It changes you, it shifts you, it molds you into a different person, and it's not for everyone. I do believe that I would rather not be a parent at all than be a bad parent. So never push yourself like, oh, I need to do this. No, you need to do what is right for you and what feels good for you. But whatever your decision is, it's fine. It's fine to have children, and it's fine to not have children. It's not the end of the world, and you will not be judged if you made the correct decision for yourself by the right people. So if you're surrounded by right friends and your partner and your parents understand who you are as a person, and if you decided not to have or to have children, you will be understood. Thank you for following. Thank you for watching. Please do comment where you are on your journey. Do you have children? Do you want to have more? Did you decide not to have children? I would really like to hear from you, and I'll see you in my next video.